All right, pre-show shenanigans, major episode today. All right, it's NFL Combine week, spring training in full swing. A lot to go over today, but there's nothing bigger than this. Over the weekend, I had the pleasure of watching Madam Web. Okay, it's the new. I wouldn't. It's pretty much just a Spider-Man ripoff. Now that I really think about it, this movie came out, and we were. I was with my cousin. We were thinking, what movie could we watch? And Madam Web, we had that last on the list. We look at the other movies out right now. There is not a single movie in theaters right now with over a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
I think Dune 2 just came out though.
it technically comes out on March 1st. Technically comes out on March
Okay.
1st. But like, at least when I went, the best movie available was the John Cena, Dua Lipa, Henry Cavill Superman movie with like a 38% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's what I intended to see first. But I thought to myself, I don't want to go to a movie with high hopes and leave disappointed. Like, I personally have never walked out of a movie theater. I'm not sure if you have. That's a pretty baller move now that I really think
I
about it.
have one time.
But I have never walked out of a movie theater, and I was afraid that I might walk out of that one. So we picked Madam Web, the lowest rating movie out there, because we knew going into it, low expectations. If any moment of this movie makes me crack a little smile or anything, it was worth it. Let's just say in the first 10 minutes, I was dying laughing at the plot themes going on. Slight spoiler, I guess. It's the opening scene. It's just this woman who's exploring in some jungle, trying to find this special spider that gives you like
Makes you
superhuman
Spider-Man.
skills. Yes. And she finally finds the spider. And then, of course, her partner just turns on her and just shoots her, kills her right then and there. I'm like, all right. Like, I mean, a second grader wrote this fucking script. That was my only impression. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, and the whole plot of the movie, it's the bad guy. He just sees a vision. For some reason, spiders, their main vision is that they like live out a portion of their life and then they get like a do-over. Then they like snap back to 5 minutes before and they're in that same moment, but they saw how it played out initially so they could like change what happens. It's like kind of time traveling. I don't know how that's a spider ability.
It's like Looper.
Yes.
Like Looper.
No, honestly, like kind of like Tenet to a degree.
It's a shitty Looper.
Yes. And like that was the superhero that they had, or super ability, superpower that they had. And like it probably took Dakota Johnson's character like 15 of these instances for her to finally realize, like, oh, I'm back in time now. Like she would sit there like, we literally just did this. Why am I getting deja vu? It's like, you stupid. Oh my God. Do you not realize you get to relive life? Like, do you not get it by the 15th time? Like, we're an hour and a half
I
into
need
this
to ask.
movie.
I need to ask. So obviously, Uncle Ben, I think, was in the movie. I think I heard that. That's whatever the dude paramedic that she's with.
Oh yeah.
Like, so I need to ask: was the fortune cookie from the trailer in it? With great power comes great responsibility.
No. I'm just saying, now that you bring up the main guy in the movie, I don't actually know the dude's name. I can't pick a role that he's in.
You talking about the anti-Spider-Man dude?
I don't even know how to describe him, but like I've seen him many times in commercials. And I think this was his first big break. Like I got to look at the male lead.
I heard bad things about his acting though.
Let's just say every time he was on the screen, I could not shake the thought of that. Like he's just playing a commercial character that is just given like 80 minutes in a movie. The character had zero substance to him at all. Like he was literally just a stereotypical stupid paramedic who's just like, I only care about my job. Like I don't care about this spider shit. It was just
I thought you were talking about the villain in the movie.
Oh no, not him. I would, yeah, a lot of problems there with just his motivations as to what, like he wanted to essentially kill Sydney Sweeney because he had a vision that Sydney Sweeney would kill him 20 years later. So the whole plot of the movie is let me kill Sydney Sweeney now. That's literally the movie.
And what about the two other girls that are in there?
Well, there are two other ones there, but it's
They're
essentially just Sydney
just
Sweeney.
chilling. Okay.
I mean, they're there too. And I would actually say the other two actresses were actually pretty solid. I feel bad for them and their agents who recently just got fired probably for being in the movie. But like, I will say this, because the movie was so poorly written, I would rewatch that over Morbius. As a man who's seen both, I would watch Madam Web over Morbius a second time. I wouldn't willingly rewatch it again. Let's get that out there. But I would pick that over Morbius.
Both are bad options.
Both awful.
Horrible.
Trust me. If given a third option, I'm taking that. But if it's like Madam Web or Morbius, Madam Web.
I'm trying to think what the next horrible third option would be.
Yeah, like shit.
What is a bad third option?
What is the other recent awful Sony Marvel movie? Like
Venom, I think.
Wasn't that good though?
I don't know. That's the only one I can think of.
I don't know. Tom Hardy, right? That one?
Yes. Yeah.
I would assume that one's pretty good.
Marvel movie, because
I would assume that's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably a Sony
just any
movie,
Tom Hardy villain movie. I'm just gonna assume it's
pretty fire. Pretty fire.
Good. Just gonna go out on a limb. That's just a me thing though, maybe. But I'll be honest, it was not as bad. Not like bad, but for the lowest expectations I've had going into a movie in years, great experience.
Still bad.
Bad, but I was expecting bad and I got better than awful. I got bad. I was expecting awful.
Okay.
That way.
All right.
I would not suggest anyone to watch it, but more so like
would it be a good fantasy football punishment?
No, it's not bad enough.
Not
it's
bad
only
enough.
2 hours. Like if it was a 3.5, yeah, I'd say that's fantasy football punishment territory.
No phone, nothing. Like you just yourself in the movie theater.
I'll be honest. This might be a me thing, or maybe it's because I'm in LA and I just feel like naturally LA people are a little more like respect.
Oh no, I'm not on my phone. I'm like I paid money to see a movie. I'm not gonna go on my phone.
I personally don't mind if someone's checking real quick if the brightness is low. I don't care at all.
No, yeah, no, I don't mind either. But I'm saying for the fantasy football punishment,
LA population, they're like, phone down now.
For the fantasy football. Oh no, the fantasy football punishment is you have to go to a movie and you have to like be the distraction during the movie. Like you have to piss everybody else off. Like, that would be a great fantasy football punishment.
Yeah, I mean any type of public embarrassment, like making people do a stand-up set, shit like that. Like
yeah,
terrifying.
Pretty standard.
Terrifying. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up on the pre-show unless you got some other fun little tidbits to go over real quick.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, without further ado, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Warboy Podcast. Today is episode 199. It is NFL Combine Week. MLB spring training is in full swing. And you guys guessed it, Everett and I still could not care less about the NBA. So I think
I have something to start with. I have to get it out of the way.
NBA.
It is not. Before we get to anything, because this is just completely unrelated to everything we're going to talk about the rest of the day, and I just thought this was funny. So it's about college sport. It's the rifle championship. So the NCAA has a rifle championship. Like
I know this.
Air Force and Navy qualified for it. Army did not qualify for it. The team that not the team, the school that produces the people that probably need to use the rifles the most, not qualifying for it seems a little concerning to me. I don't know about you, but
now question for this shooting thing, is it like the Winter Olympics where you ski down a slope, pause real quick,
no,
shoot?
This is like you're standing, like it's a standing, like you're shooting target, like what they're supposed to be doing.
Now, quick question, I'm going to guess only certain conferences participate. I know the SEC does. I know they do. I'm gonna guess the Big 12 does.
I don't know. I don't know that. I'm just looking at the graphic, and the graphic just says that Army didn't make it.
Okay, NCAA shooting. No, it says when I look up NCAA shooting,
Alaska
it goes basketball.
Fairbanks made it.
They seem like
Army did not make it.
I'll read Navy and Air Force make it? Of course
yes,
they did.
Air Force and Navy made it, but Army, who used it,
actually
didn't.
Navy, you would expect. The Air Force over Army is the slight interesting one.
Air Force, Alaska Fairbanks, Kentucky, Navy, Nebraska.
Wait. Could it be that Army, they knew it was unfair if they participated, so they just withdrew? Or did they not qualify?
They did not qualify. They were ranked 14th.
Oh, gentlemen. Oh, God. Oh, all right. We might have to change the Ohio State of the Union to just the State of the Union. What?
You got a guessy.
Hey, I'm no shooter myself. I'm not saying I could do that.
You have a Gettysburg Address?
Something sits wrong with me there, knowing that our men and women serving in the Army are not participating in the NCAA shooting March Madness competition.
Seems a little concerning.
Just slightly. I'm not ready to put the red flag on, but it's orange.
Close though.
It's orange.
It's real close. If I was another country looking at this, I'd feel fantastic about myself.
Yeah, I mean the Switzerland Army is up right now. All I gotta say,
they're on top.
They are
on top.
Yeah, that's concerning. Like especially knowing that the odds are I'm gonna guess it's like a stationary. You're at a range, maybe shooting at a target. Yeah. That's very concerning. Like I feel like the Army, those in the Army should have many reps at those ranges. You know, that's just how I view it. That might be how I think it. If I were going to guess, though, which non-military college would be the best, I think I know my answer, but what do you think?
It's going to be a Southern school.
Oh, yeah.
My money.
Who would it be? Because I have one in my head that I'm going right
Texas
away.
A&M.
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. They did not make it, but yeah, that's the first
That's
thing.
who I would think
It's got to be in Texas. But it can't be Central. It's got to be
off not UT. No. I know.
It's got to be off. It's got to be off a little bit.
I know it's not SMU.
It's got to be a little
Baylor
bit far
could be
away.
a wild card. Could be. Oklahoma State definitely up there. Oklahoma State's up there.
Tech is too smart. It can't be Texas Tech.
Yeah, no.
Too smart.
That's why I had A&M 1.
Yeah.
Like worst school in Texas, A&M. It's got to be them.
Okay. All right. What do we want to talk MLB a little bit first? I mean, there's some stuff going on.
Yes. Massive stuff. MLB spring training full swing right now. We're going to get our Ohtani debut today when this episode airs. We're going to get our Yamamoto debut tomorrow. At the time when this airs. So it's a massive week for Dodger fans. We are going to see $1 billion worth of players play in the next 2 days. That should be exciting. I would say, though, some other major news today. Manuel Margot, who we acquired with Tyler Glasnow in the trade with the Rays, has now been flipped to your Minnesota Twins in exchange for middle infielder Noah Miller.
I thought he was a shortstop.
Yeah, he's listed second base / shortstop, so we'll call him middle infielder for now. But the bigger news here, folks, is that Kike Hernandez will be returning to the Dodgers as a platoon hitter against lefties. According to Dave Roberts, he wants him to play in this order. This is how he listed the positions: center field, shortstop, and third base against lefties.
Not left field. No left field.
Yeah, no. Those were
because originally, I mean, if you guys have listened to this podcast long enough, you know, like the first thing that I said when free agency started, when the offseason started for the Dodgers, was that I wanted Kike to come back, and I thought it would be a good idea to be able to have him because him, CT, and Lux could interchange between shortstop and left field because that's like they can play right behind. That's where Lux plays or played. I don't think that they're going to play him there anymore. That's where CT plays. But it's interesting to me that they'd rather have him play center field, rotating with James Outman, than it would be with left field. Who's our left fielder right now? It's a
little bit of a mess.
Platoons, technically, right?
It was supposed to most likely be Margot. Now, like, we kind of might be rolling out CT3 and left. we might be rolling. I mean,
I
honestly
I'd
don't
still
really
rather
know.
have Kike in left.
Well, it's more so the James Outman. And to be honest,
Yeah, he did fumble the fucking bag in the playoffs, but
what
I
I
mean,
think
hopefully he'll
will
recover.
most likely end up happening against righties, I feel actually this is what it'll be. Hayward will play left. I just forgot about him because Tay Oscar's in right. So Hayward will be in left for the most part. I know Hayward struggles against lefties. Like I know he does. So I feel like you probably want one of Hayward or Almond still playing outfield, but this move shows me against lefties, like they want Taylor in left. They want Kike in center, keep
Taylor
Teoscar in
just
right.
sucks. CT just is not good though, so that
Oh yeah,
sucks.
no, I'm out. I'm out on Chris Taylor. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame what happened to our boy. Uh, but I feel like that's probably where we're headed. That seems most likely, and I'm okay with it. At the end of the day, Kike, I know he's gonna
Well,
give
you
us
know what?
big time innings. Like I know he will.
Trace Thompson was starting in left field last year, so I mean,
Yeah,
it's okay.
yeah.
We're okay.
And it's like, for my left fielder, that's a position where you kind of want some pop there. Like he's not that key of a defensive player. You do want some pop, but if we do kind of have the luxury of having our first six hitters being lights out, unreal, I guess we can accept a Kike Hernandez batting seventh, eighth, ninth for us.
And Kike also is not a bad batter,
Oh
so
no,
I
no,
mean,
exactly. Like obviously way better against lefties out of him, but I genuinely believe that like locker room mentality mindset, like when you're a veteran, not getting everyday appearances like Kike, like going from Boston to LA made a major difference where even if he isn't starting every day, there are other guys depending on him to help them out every single day. Like he is a leader in the clubhouse. He is a big voice that people respect. And I
no,
do
yeah,
think
yeah.
this team needs some type of continuity. I know we want to shed ourselves of the past Dodger seasons, but we need, at least one or two guys from that era still giving their input. And I'm not sure if Kershaw, Mookie, or Freddie are going to be those guys doing it. So I love having Kike back. Absolutely love it. And the big thing is he can, instead of Margot, he can play middle infield if need be. So can play third.
Utility
So
guy, utility
yeah,
guy.
I definitely think though this shows that we are concerned with the production of Outman, Lux, and maybe even Muncy a little against lefties, even though Muncy's got reverse splits. It's kind of weird with him.
Well, Lux also, it's not fair to say anything because Lux really, I mean, Lux hasn't played in a year. Also, like he played very well before. Like I mean, better than Outman at least. So I wouldn't be as concerned about him. I do think that with Kike coming back, there's a bigger chance that uh Lux and Kike kind of rotate throughout that first couple of games so that it's more of a load management for Gavin Lux instead of playing every day, just coming back off injury, and getting
yeah, I
more
mean,
so
he
used to the
did
game.
technically tear his ACL a year ago today when this
Today.
video came out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, quick timeline for him to get back.
Yeah. So, um, it's just going to be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see, and it'll be interesting to see if we don't, if we sign anybody else.
Yeah, I would say one thing, just taking a quick look at Lux's Savant page, like 304 batting average against fastballs in 2022. I'll check the splits on hand. Against righties, 322 batting average against righties on fastballs, and against lefties, that dipped down to 254. So Lux is, the numbers show you he is a below average hitter against lefties. He is above average, very good against righties. The good thing is like 80% of his ABs will be against righties this year. So that is the good. I do think though, today was his first game back playing shortstop in a year. That's obviously a big position in terms of the stress that puts on your body having to play shortstop. So yeah, we'll see a lot of rotation there, 100%. Like long term, doesn't have to be this year. Shit, remember, we got Yamamoto, Glasnow, Otani, Mookie, Freddie locked up for like another 2-3 years. So in 2 years from now, Lux, we need him to be that everyday shortstop on an ARB deal. Like, we need that out of him. So let's just.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest.
him
If he doesn't get there, if he doesn't make some headway between now and the end of midway point of next season, there's a good chance that the Dodgers will be looking on furthering developing one of their in-house guys or going and signing somebody. But they don't like Andrew Freeman doesn't like signing somebody. So furthering developing the in-house guys.
And yeah, so I mean, at least in more discussion in terms of like what our current prospect outlook, things like that, what I was looking at. So across almost all scouting websites, they have Dalton rushing, passing Cartaya. That's our catcher. I believe right now he's in high A rushing, but he's passing Cartaya on a lot of these scouting lists. And it makes me beg the question last year, like my brother was thinking, why didn't we trade Cartaya and a pitcher for Jordan Montgomery last year? Why don't we go after a starter, a name like that? And the answer is Ohtani and Yamamoto. But I feel like we definitely have some expendable prospects. We are very fortunate to have an excess in certain positions right now in our farm system. And so I could see Cartaya getting moved at the deadline this year 100%. We have a ton of righty pitchers right now in the prospect farm that are just almost at MLB ready.
I also,
24, 25 years old.
Depending on development throughout the season and also how our outfield does, I could see Pages getting moved as well.
I honestly think a long-term play next season could have Pages being our left fielder or right fielder for Teoscar. I'm assuming we're not planning on keeping Teoscar after this year. I'm also assuming Teoscar is going to perform not what he did in 2021 or 2019, but I assume him to look pretty solid this year to command another relatively large contract that we won't re-sign him. I do think Pages can come in and take that role. He's looked in his spring training, but I liked what I was seeing out of him past couple of days in his limited ABs. I think that we have a lot of great prospects right now. And I know Vargas struggled a lot last year, but I would argue he got thrown to the fire a little bit too early with that Lux injury. I think what I was hearing before we got Kike today, I was hearing a lot of people in the Dodgers organization have been impressed with Vargas this year, and we're considering having him be our platoon middle infielder this season. So
I mean, remember Vargas is only like 22. It's just hard to trust that after what happened last season. I think that he needs to have a little bit more development. I also don't think you want to burn one of his call-ups that early. I think you want to probably let him play a little bit in season and then see.
Well, I'll be honest, the one really fucked part about spring training is that all players currently on the 40-man spring training, they're technically MLB players. And so
it counts.
Right now, like, this is every team. This is just how the MLB works. Like, if you want to invite them to spring training, which you should, you should, that takes up an option.
What, you have
stupid. Three. I think, though, the resets are a little bit different now. I think for a while that you weren't allowed to reset. I think there's a rule now that resets them. So at the end of the day, it's all fine. Like, it doesn't take up service time. But yeah, I'm excited to see exactly what happens. I'm most interested to see how we handle the catcher position after this year. I would say the odds of us re-signing Will Smith are so low for what he's probably going to get.
Yeah, he's going to command a very big contract just on the basis that, I mean, he was an all-star and also his batting. Like, as a catcher, as a framer, not great. But, I mean, we'll see what happens this year. But chances are that, like, it's going to max out. The Dodgers aren't going to want to pay him that much. They'd rather probably get a serviceable catcher that might or might not be able to hit than re-sign. I mean,
having a catcher that can hit is a luxury. Like, I mean, there might be 6 catchers in the MLB that you trust to hit at the top of your lineup right now. So obviously it's a great thing to have. If you have a guy playing short catcher center being one of your premier hitters, that's so much value to your team. But for those three positions, might be time to, I don't know, maybe go for a guy who can frame. That might help out Ohtani and Yamamoto. I don't know, though. That's just That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like one thing you can't really track is catchers calling games. Like I have no evidence to back it up, but like I'm convinced Will Smith's getting predictable back there on the pitches he calls. I got no evidence to prove it, but like,
yeah, get look unnamed intern. Look into that for this season. Okay,
I struggle to like. I'm pretty sure it was Yamamoto or Otani announced that Austin Barnes will be their personal catcher this year, and it's like the fact that so many of our top tier aces just hate Will Smith as a catcher might be telling us something. Might be a sign.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay,
yeah,
moving on.
That was MLB update. MLB update.
Moving on.
Actually, yeah, the jersey's still bad. Need fixing.
Oh yeah, no. It's getting close to being rated R or M for mature.
No, straight up, there's gonna need to be parental guidelines for the MLB games.
Yeah, no, I was about to say they might might
like
tough. It might be T for teen.
PG-13, bro. Might be rated M.
I feel like there's a lawsuit coming. I just feel like there's a lawsuit coming at this point. It is bad. I know you saw. We're gonna put this. If you're watching this on YouTube, we cannot put this on screen.
We can't put it on screen.
We cannot put this on screen for like
we can't.
Discretion purposes. But there's a picture.
I just need you to Google. Tell them.
It's a picture.
We're talking about the ones bent over, right? Yeah.
Oh no, I wasn't thinking. I was thinking the picture he's sitting. It's the photo shoot picture.
That one's same message.
Yeah. Astros, I think, was that one, right? Anyways, just look up the new uniforms. They're showing everything in the wrong places. There's no nut cups. We'll put it that way. Okay. All right. Moving on. Let's go into college football a little bit. I'm going to start us off here. I know you have an Ohio State of the Union. First things first, Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams are not throwing at the combine. I'm going to count this as part of college football. I would know we talked about this earlier. I think it's a little bit interesting in general, but I also don't like. I think it's more interesting for Jaden Daniels not to throw, considering he's not consensusly number 2, and I don't know. There's not reports on what Drake May is doing yet. Yeah. And also he doesn't have he has more to gain than to lose in that.
I'd agree,
especially with a 40-yard dash. Like that would probably be pretty big for him to do well in. Caleb Williams, I'm not as surprised. He has much more to lose than he is to gain. He's the consensus number 1 pick. Like if you show up and you don't throw good, like it's only going to knock your stock. So I don't blame him for that. But Jaden Daniels, that is interesting to me.
Caleb,
I know.
Did he say he's not participating in any drills or just the throwing? Okay.
At least just throwing. I don't know. I'm assuming it's everything.
Throwing he's not doing, but I'd assume.
But Jaden Daniels, I'm pretty sure, is not doing anything. I think he's just there for meetings. Also, Marv is not doing anything. Marv isn't even in Indianapolis. He is still in Ohio.
Ironic.
Which is interesting, though, because it's been getting closer and closer with him and Malik Neighbors becoming consensus 1 wide receivers. And apparently a lot of people have Malik Neighbors as number 1 right now.
As an Ohio State guy myself, I don't think the gap is that large either. I think Malik Neighbors is.
But for me, that's interesting that Malik Neighbors is going to be there. Malik Neighbors could solidify himself as number 1 for the fact that Marv is not there. Like that to me is interesting for the fact that you got to think about it as like a position battle, right? Like this is NCAA 14. We're in a position battle right now. You're trying to get that starter badge, right? That's Marv and Malik Neighbors. They're fighting for number 1. It's going to be close. So that's just kind of wild to me. I don't really think there's anybody else. Bo Nix, Michael Penix will both be throwing. JJ McCarthy will be throwing, and I saw somebody be like, well, I hope he is because we haven't been seeing him throw in his entire collegiate career.
Going back to Marv real quick, I would just think I know he hasn't came out and said anything about I will do pro day drills. He hasn't said that. And my first thought is if Marv participated in the combine throwing drills, he would have an upgrade at quarterback than Honda McCord or Will Howard at the pro day. He should 1,000% run his routes at the combine instead of at Ohio State.
I'm gonna be honest. You know who's most likely throwing to him at the combine? Neither of the quarterbacks. It's not going to be either of the quarterbacks.
Shit. Is it just a random quarterback coach?
I'm going to guess it's just going to be one of the coaches, or
yeah, never mind.
Fuck. Or curveball CJ Stroud comes back.
Fuck it. Peyton Manning's back and he's running the combine drills.
Or even more curveball, Justin Fields comes back and does it. He's like, "Hey,
funny because he's like, hey, I need more tape.
I need look at what I can do. Look at me throwing, right? Like you want to.
It'd be really funny if Justin Fields like, can I just go through the combine just to re-show all the NFL teams how fast I am, just
what
like
I can
one
do.
more time.
Even bigger curveball. Josh Rosen shows up.
Oh my God. But this time as a coach, he is running the drills, instructing the players through it, trying to show himself that way.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I will say, yeah, no, I think it's interesting seeing players opting in, opting out. I feel like one thing that is interesting, just comparing the NFL to the NBA combine, and it makes a lot of sense. NBA, there's only 2 rounds, so less draft picks available. But like, I can't remember the last time a top NBA player prospect like went to the NBA combine. Like it literally only hurts you, but maybe that could be
like
the
Myles
trend.
Garrett did it.
Well, NBA.
Oh, NBA.
Like,
I'm not too in tune with the NBA combine.
I think potentially we could see like NFL players being like.
Also, the NBA draft works much differently, and it's
I know it's not a fair comparison.
The combine also, the NFL has monetized the combine, where the NBA. When was the last time you watched the NBA draft or the NBA combine?
I could not. I don't even know when it is.
Could not tell you. The only thing I know about it is from playing 2K. I don't know anything else about it.
I recently just saw a clip of Kevin Durant being like, yeah, no, I never considered the combine. And it's like, yeah, because if he tried to do the bench press, he wouldn't be able to put up a single rep. So yeah.
Also, it's just weird because there's much more players and stuff for the NFL. Like it's necessary.
Yeah, no, it's way different. It's way different.
The other thing, bigger news is that Eric Bieniemy is now going to be the offensive coordinator, assistant head coach for UCLA. His job keeps getting shittier and shittier every year. I don't know how he's gone from coordinator for the Chiefs winning Super Bowls to the coordinator for Washington, which looks great, and then shit the bed the back half of the season, to now going to UCLA, which might be one of the worst Power 5 opportunities physically possible. Like, don't have a quarterback. You don't have you don't have anything,
and you're joining the Big Ten. Where
we're putting it this way.
Don't talk about it.
Okay. He got cut 0 slack for getting put in a bad situation in Washington and got downgraded again. If he shits the bed with UCLA, which most likely is going to happen, I mean, it is over. Keep in mind, 2 years ago, this guy was going up for head coaching jobs, and now I don't know what has happened in those interview rooms, but they have gone so poorly. He's been relegated from the NFL to college football. I mean, he's at least going to be in LA. So, I mean, that's better than, I guess, other options. But I bet you that salary is not getting him too much in LA because of the prices there. But, I mean, if he shits the bed, this might be the last we hear of Eric Bieniemy. If he does great, I'm going to be interested to see if he could revitalize that UCLA offense with nothing going. I'll be interested to see if, 1, he gets offered a head coaching job in college football, or 2, if he goes back up to the NFL level, which I think is kind of interesting, is if he gets offered a college football head coaching job, and that's kind of his prove it that I can do this. It is much different than the NFL, though.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought seeing him go to college, I'm just going to take a quick look at his just coaching history. I don't know the last time he was in college.
I don't think he has been.
The last time he was in college was the Colorado OC in 2011. So the last time he was coaching in college football, let's just say, Urban Meyer was still at Florida or just joined Ohio State. It's been a while. College football has changed a lot. To see him take the UCLA spot, it seems like that was the last option. It seemed like he was waiting out, hoping to get an NFL spot. That never came. So he's like, damn it, I'm calling up 16-year-olds on the phone every Wednesday night in my marches now. But that's just the reality of it, Eric. I'm sorry. you're now going to have to deal with 16-year-olds in their fucking pre-calc homework. Okay. I'm sorry, but that's what you signed up for or had to accept. I guess he didn't willingly sign up for it technically. But it's going to be very interesting seeing them go to UCLA, who's just experienced turmoil. Shout out Ohio State stealing Chip Kelly. Now Bieniemy's in. I would say UCLA, it's an awful, and this isn't me as a USC fan, just losing your offensive coordinator. Well, yeah, in theory, Chip Kelly, losing your Chip Kelly, running your offense, losing D'Anton Lynn to USC, who had the number 8 defense last year. I think one thing no one is quite bringing up about USC, UCLA, I think Oregon will be able to deal with it quite easily, but USC, UCLA, Washington moving to the Big Ten, not necessarily Washington, I guess, climate-wise, but team play-wise, I genuinely don't know how any of those teams beat Iowa in November. I'm not even trying to make a joke here.
We talked about that enough.
I'm not even trying to be funny. I genuinely do not know how those teams win in the Big Ten in November when it is 10 degrees.
It will be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see with the playoffs expanding, with teams relocating, essentially how things shift to be based on win-loss. So if a 3-loss USC gets in, and depending on how the ranks work, because there's going to be more multiple loss teams now. More 100%. Top teams are going to have multiple losses. Yeah, so I'm just curious how that's going to
losing twice
and it makes it even more. It makes it even more important now for those West Coast teams to get home field advantages.
You just brought up something very interesting that I just remembered the other day from our Lord and Savior, Josh Pate. He was mentioning, obviously, college football playoff expansion is coming. It was never going to end at 12. They're already talking about going to 14. It was never going to stop at 12. It is going to expand. And Pate has been a big believer of, not a believer, but more so he fears that it's coming sooner than later, a NFC, AFC, SEC, Big Ten type of system in college football. This is what I'm hearing. Moving forward, under an expanded playoff, what the SEC and Big Ten may do, they may create conference championship semifinals. And if that happens, so instead of a conference championship game, they'll have their own mini playoff. You get what I'm saying? And what the initial talks have been, because they want to add more games, that's going to happen. All right. But they don't necessarily want to have their players playing 18-week NFL schedules. So something that could happen is that those conference championship games could end up being playoff games. They want the conference championship games to still carry weight and still be significant. And one way of doing that is if you just make them a playoff game. And
I don't know. I think we'll see. I think that's too far out for us to really talk about right now.
Well, this is something that I want to really stress. As of right now, this 12-team playoff structure, it is only lasting through 2026.
So, no, yeah, but that's
2027 onward.
We're gonna assume assuming that it's gonna move to 14 by 2026 because that's what the conversations have been.
Yes.
But why don't you give your Ohio State of the Union though?
Or I didn't really have an Ohio State of the Union set up.
I thought there was one in the books.
No. I was more so we got on that presidential debate and I was like, huh. Or the gun debate, and I was like, State of the Union time. We gotta address this shit. Gettysburg Address.
Other thing that's interesting, I don't know what your thoughts on Drake May are.
I love him.
You don't?
I love him. I'm a big fan of Drake May.
So you know who Kurt Benkert is, correct? Yeah. He did his Drake May film review, and his impression was that he's more athletic. He's a more athletic version of Mason Rudolph with less arm talent and less accuracy.
Man,
that spooks me a little bit. I'm gonna be real. That spooks me a little bit.
I think it's just an interesting take to make on Drake May. This is just one thing I would say about Drake May that fascinates me. If I remember this correctly, actually, no. That wouldn't have been him. That would have been Sam Howell. But strong ass running game 2 years ago. Very good running game. He had a lot of help. He put up quick numbers, put up 4,300 yards, 38 touchdowns, 7 picks in his first year as a starter, true sophomore year. He also added 700 yards on the ground and 7 touchdowns. What really interests me about Drake May is the size that he has. He's like 6'5", 230.
6'5". Yeah.
He's big. And I'm not saying it's, or yeah.
It's just interesting to me that he's falling down draft boards reportedly for reasons that aren't necessarily well explained. I don't really know. I think
we're getting a little bit of Justin Fields right here. A little bit of
But that is great for me. I would love the Vikings to not have to trade up as much to be able to get him. Like if the Vikings and the Chargers traded.
If the Vikings could get Drake May, Everett, my God. Hallelujah. We're partying in Eden Prairie. Okay. We're going nuts.
Eden.
Shit.
Egan.
Damn it. I thought I was going to make a nice niche joke there.
Getting close.
Drake May, though, I feel like it could be slight fatigue. Like going into the season, people are like, Caleb won Drake too, and he did not do as well as he did the year before. Like,
and some people were talking about Drake May won over Caleb, and we were like, why?
I would say he had a lot of things he had to deal with this year that he didn't have to deal with 2 years before. Like he had a lot of
his talent,
his talent was missing.
Tez Walker also sucked at the Senior Bowl. Like, I mean, it might, if Tez Walker continues to suck, if he sucks at the combine, that might elevate Drake May's status because they're like, yeah, his number one receiver does not have hands.
I like that. I like that perspective. I'm a fan of that one. Yeah, I definitely think.
No, arguably, I need Tez Walker to ball the fuck out. That's what
from a Vikings fan perspective.
Yeah, yes. I might need him to ball out.
Yeah, I definitely think though, like, dude, Drake May. I mean, forget watching him or anything. Let's just do the NFL way. Just look at his intangibles. Why does Josh Allen get the boost there, but he gets the dog?
Who does Drake May remind you of?
Honestly, if I could give, I hate comparisons, but if I would compare him just to someone, it would be Josh Allen, but just at the Power 1 school, Power 5.
Justin Herbert.
I'm not sure if Herbert ran like May.
But I'm saying the size and tangibles, like Drake May is not leaping over people like Josh Allen is. Drake May is not like doing scrambling, all having designed runs like that. That's not Drake May. But the way that Herbert translated the NFL might be the same way that Drake May does. Okay. We're gonna move into the NFL with that though.
I love him though. I'm a big fan.
Speaking of the Vikings, there's been reports. I'm sure you've seen it throughout the week because I've been arguing with people on Twitter. So I'm assuming you've seen my tweets. Multiple different quote unquote rumor, like consolidated NFL accounts, like news accounts on Twitter have been reporting, Duff Cleveland, have been reporting that the Vikings are possibly interested in trading Justin Jefferson. To that, I say that is complete and utter horseshit. The person that got the information from that is a known like anti-Viking person and does not report news properly for the Vikings or their sources. It's been wrong on many frequent occasions. The other guy was Adam Rank, who I don't know if you know, but he works for the NFL Network. He is a Bears fan, and every single year when he puts out his like record predictions in the offseason for these teams, he's like the Vikings going like 4-13. Like this dates back to like 2016, and he's had them go like 5-13 or 5-12, 4-14, whatever. Like every single year, it's negative record. He's the other guy that was like, yeah, the Vikings should trade Justin Jefferson. So if anybody's arguing, like legitimately arguing that like that it's gonna happen, you do not know ball at all. The other problem is because Justin Jefferson's so good and every fan is like, I want to have him on my team. Everybody's like, yeah, this makes total sense. The Vikings should totally do this. They should totally trade him to the Chiefs. Look, I even have a graphic made for Justin Jefferson in a Chiefs uniform. It must really suck to not have Justin Jefferson on your team. it must suck as a fan to not have him. But for clarification, Paul Allen, you know who Paul Allen is. Big Paul Allen fans. He is the commentator for the Vikings. He's their radio personality. He also has a show in which he talks about Vikings news. He is probably the most tapped in Vikings person on the planet that is a news source. He knows all the information before anybody else. He knows everything, knew everything about Kirk Cousins, etc. Stephon Diggs extension, whatever. He was asked this question on his show, and his answer was that the Vikings have zero. Let me read that. Zero interest in trading Justin Jefferson, which, oh my God, that's such a surprise, right? That's so surprising that they don't want to trade the best wide receiver in the NFL. So I don't know what other thing I have to say. I think that was absolutely fucking stupid. Now, if the Vikings do not get a deal done this offseason, one, fire everybody, but two, okay, maybe they trade him in the middle of the season. But
yeah, and Justin Jefferson was the first NFL player to be added to Fortnite, so you can't get rid of him. You need to keep him on the team no matter what.
I wonder if the Vikings got like provisions for that for their uniforms.
I bet the NFL required it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But that's I just had to say that I don't know how like I get it. It's Justin Jefferson. Everybody wants Justin Jefferson, so everybody's gonna believe in this. But it gets to a point where when you're like a fan of if you're a Vikings fan, you're like, dude, I'm telling you as somebody who like knows like it's not going to happen, and people start arguing with you about why it should happen, and then it makes sense for them to do it. Like Theo Ash literally said, makes sense for the Vikings to trade Justin Jefferson because they're kind of set up well. Like, you know, they could get it was like Justin Jefferson and like the 42nd pick for the second pick. That's another thing. People are like, yeah, the Vikings should trade Justin Jefferson and picks to trade up in the draft. Or people are like, trade Justin Jefferson and give me your first this year for like the second overall pick. That's the stupidest fucking thing that I've ever heard because Justin Jefferson alone is worth multiple first round picks. Keep in mind, Stephon Diggs was traded for a first round pick, albeit not a early first rounder, but he was traded for a first and other picks. So it's just fucking stupid. For the best wide receiver in the NFL, like it's not how it works. And asking for them to trade an additional pick with him, like that's unbelievably idiotic. But Theo Ash was like, the Vikings are well set up. They should trade him and a pick to move to the second. I'm like, no. That was my little tangent on that. Other news kind of related to the Vikings. Russell Wilson has reportedly stated that he would be willing to accept or consider taking the vet minimum.
Vikings country, let's ride.
To start for a team next season. Now, if I'm the Vikings, this is intriguing to me.
Vikings country?
Maybe.
Let's ride.
Kirk Cousins is asking for.
Actually, instead of let's ride, what would it be? Vikings, or would it even be Vikings country? Would it be like Vikings Nation?
It'd be Skull Nation, probably.
Skull Nation.
I don't know. Let's chant. I don't know because I don't really know. What's something Nordic?
Viking Nation. Let's skull. I know that's what his PR team will come up with. Well, like, you also have to keep in mind, like you got to get Sierra on board with that.
Yeah, that's tough to go to Minnesota. I don't know if she's gonna like that.
We can get her on board?
I don't know. Taylor Swift didn't want to show up to our game, so I don't really know.
Fuck, that's a bad look. That is a bad look.
But
hopefully we can confirm she had a show.
If Kirk Cousins is asking for more than 40, more than 35, but more than $40 million, I don't think the Vikings will sign him.
I hate to say it, but looking at just his numbers, he probably will get it. Will get. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a matter. It's a matter of whether or not he wants to stay in Minnesota. Like that's the question. Because he's still recovering. He's got kids. He's got families from the Midwest. The other teams that might take him aren't going to be from there. So it's kind of his question. And the Vikings.
Say like the ironic part is like Kirk's kind of put himself at a level where like he's going to get his money, And it's like if the Vikings don't give it to him, someone else will. And like,
Yeah, but I mean, it's a matter
decision.
Because do remember, he signed with the Vikings originally in 2017, 2018, and took less to go to Minnesota than to go to the Jets, because the Jets had a much more expensive contract. So it's not. It's been known. It's happened before for him to stay here, to stay in Minnesota, to go to Minnesota and take less money. So it wouldn't be the first time if he did that. Now,
I would say, though, like if the Vikings had the contract on the table, he's picking that. He's not looking at it.
If it's like $10 million or less to get Russell Wilson,
that's so cheap. That's so cheap.
I mean,
that's so little.
It's gonna get difficult because you can. I mean, the question is, I mean, how much is Russ gonna blow up your locker room? Is the next question. So,
yeah, like, does he get a private room for him? Like, probably not. Yeah. Probably not.
You have to put your foot down somewhere. But I don't know. I think it is interesting, but I mean, Russ would have, if I'm the Vikings, I think Russ needs to, if that happens, if Kirk Cousins is not an option and you get Russ would have to drop his whole personality bullshit.
Which is tough.
It is really tough. But I think he's kind of been humbled a little bit. I'm going to be honest. I think he got humbled a little bit.
Yeah, if he hasn't had a moment of self-realization over the past 2 seasons, then I don't know what to tell him. I got no idea.
Other interesting, just fun fact, Todd Gurley is younger than Derrick Henry, who he has not played in 3 years.
Yeah, Todd Gurley's still in his 20s. I'm just saying, folks, remember, Todd Gurley did tear his ACL at Georgia. All I'm saying, it adds up. The fact that he tore his ACL in college and still went number 10 overall.
Hey, real quick, I just want to shout out the greatest coach in college football right now, John Summerall. There's an article on On3 saying that G5s cannot compete in the new college football playoff format. Yeah, no, John Summerall responded to that. Little pondering emoji, you know.
Who
investigative? Just absolutely wrong.
Just wrong.
So, yeah, Paul Feinbaum. Yeah, go fuck yourself, buddy. Okay. Continuing on, other thing that we had to talk about, Cam Newton.
Yeah, I think we've all seen the clip. This is what I want to really.
I don't know if I'd be messing with the dude who's picked fights with his own teammates. And anytime that's happened, he's been smiling the entire time. He smiles when he instigates conflict. I don't know if I'd be messing with that guy, considering he also had one of the shittiest O-lines in NFL history.
I just gotta look up.
Still fun.
Gotta look up his weight real quick. So yeah, Cam Newton, 6'5" with the hair, 7 foot, and 250 pounds. Cam Newton, regardless of your opinion on him, I know people are be like, "Oh, he didn't dive on that fumble in the Super Bowl. He's weak. He's a bitch." He's 6'5", 7 foot with the hair, and 250 pounds. That is a man where if you come across him, you do not fight. You do not fight. Okay. Simple as that. There's no other way around it. You do not fight that man. And Cam Newton, I don't know, was how many people seemed to jump him there? Was it 2? Was it 3? Was it just 1?
It was like 3. It was like
it looked like 2 or 3. And the whole time, first, the hat did not move an inch. Let's start
Stayed
there.
Right on top of his head.
Let's start there. So impressive. But number 2, Cam, it did not even look like he was fully engaging with the other guys, but he was just casually tossing them off of him. Just casually, one arm off of me. The security had to hold Cam back from beating them up. Like, that's how you know you got a problem. When the security doesn't go through the guys coming after Cam, they're going after Cam to prevent him from hitting them. That's how you know the fight went one way. I will just say, though, Cam Newton, that is a guy, screw it. Doesn't even need to be Cam Newton specifically. I would never, ever fight a former NFL player.
Or a current one.
Especially not current.
What about Hot Rod?
Rodrigo Blankenship?
Yeah.
I wouldn't morally feel correct.
Yeah, no.
him.
You
That'd
actually, like, you would feel bad. Yeah, no. Even if he instigated, to be like, oh, dude, I'll let it happen. Come on.
No, I wouldn't. Like, I was thinking, like, maybe Pat McAfee. Like, dude, Pat McAfee's
I do not want to fight
him.
No, don't do that.
Not want to fight him.
You do not want to do that. It's gotta be like what about Janikowski? Nah, Janikowski fucked shit up.
He's a unit, bro. Hell no. Hell
Uh
no.
Tariq Cohen. It's like 5'6".
Any running back, no, he's taking.
But I know
he's
that
seen shit
he's
that I'll never
meaty.
see in my life.
Uh
No, straight up, no one. There's nobody.
yeah, I
Nobody.
mean,
Not a single former NFL player, even a long
what about
snapper. I'm good. I'm good.
Devontae Smith's a little lengthy. Can't do that.
I would never fight Smitty ever. Never.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah,
No,
no.
Smitty's got that fire under him. I know I would not pick a fight with Smitty. Smitty's got that light under his ass. Let me tell you, not fighting him.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of a little bit more like acceptable sized individuals.
I can immediately think of what
Roberto Aguayo.
Yeah, I'd square it up.
Yeah, you could do Roberto Aguayo.
I'd square it up with him. I was about to say like Braxton Berrios.
No,
I know I couldn't take him. But
no. Braxton, we love you.
How about like I was about to say that one white corner on Miami. Definitely not. He would whoop my ass. He would never fight a corner. Never fight a corner. All right. I learned that the hard way my freshman year. Never fight a DB. Never.
It's gonna have to be a special teams guy. It'd have to be a special teams guy.
But not a gunner. Hell no.
No.
Hell no.
You'll get laid out.
I'm fighting someone on the punt team. On the punt team. Okay, not punt return. Those are psychopaths. They're coming for your head on punt return. But punt, those guys might be able to last. Might be able to last half a round.
More than there you go.
Half a round.
7 minutes, right?
Oh, I'm talking boxing. I'm saying 90 seconds. 3-minute rounds. I think I can get 90 seconds in. I was gonna say UFC. I would personally gas out after 20 seconds. So not doing that. Hell no.
That's more or less what I had to talk about.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Got my little off season. I'm not gonna lie. Gotta take a quick little run to the little men's room, Everett. I feel like we shouldn't pause though. It'll be quick.
Yeah,
Everett,
I can do a little conversation.
Why don't you let all the people know, just a little bit more, about your favorite left guard prospects in the NFL draft? Go.
Man, left guards. Well, no, you know what? Sincere Haynesworth, center, number 1 prospect in the NFL. I actually have a different course of action here. While Grant takes a little potty break. There's a new kind of football that is now being broadcast. I think this might be one of the most electric kinds of football. American ice football. That is right. You heard me. They're playing football on skates. Now, if you love hockey, if you're a puckhead, and you love football, you love rugby, this is going to be fantastic for you. I'm currently staring at them watching play this. They're slipping, they're sliding, they're getting the ball. They're high scoring games too, but it is absolutely like you're getting decked. Like this is great. This is great entertainment. I am curious though, how long this has existed, because this is the first time that I heard about this. But in other news, just talking about general prospects, it's going to be interesting to see kind of where everything stacks out, because there's a lot of talent in this year's draft. But the way that the first round is going to go is going to be completely based on picks, probably 2 to 6, 2 to 10, arguably, because we're going to have players probably go much earlier than you think. We're going to have players like Brock Bowers most likely go later than you think. So players might be a complete shit show. And it's kind of going to start with the combine this week. And there's also, it's going to be interesting to see how much under the table shit is about to happen, because I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of it.
I think Bowers is going to fall a little. And let's just say if the Chargers drafted Brock Bowers at 5, I will be pissed off to a new stratosphere of hate.
Yeah. But Are you gonna do this list or?
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say something else. Yeah.
No,
All
no,
right.
no, no, no.
List time. All right. This one, I want to quickly shout out the Instagram comment section. You guys are actually self-aware. All the Cowboy fans on the Instagram comment section, I want to personally give you guys a shout out. I commend all of you for just being self-aware as Cowboys fans and knowing that it would be good content to make right now because there are so many Cowboys haters. So I want to shout them out real quick. You guys get it. You understand. But all right. Dallas Cowboys off-season wish list. We'll start off with the cuts. Yeah, screw it. We'll start with the cuts. All right. Cut Michael Gallup. Cut Leighton Van. Oh shit. Not saying cut twice.
Yeah, you fucked that up.
That was okay. Do I say post June 1st or should I just take that?
Just say cut. Just say cut.
We'll take out the June 1st. Cut Michael Gallup and Leighton Vander Esk. Restructure Trevon Diggs, Terrence Steele, and Dak Prescott. Re-sign Tyler Biadasz, Tyron Smith, Jordan Lewis, and Jonathan Hankins, and sign J.K. Dobbins. Very short. Very short.
Only one signing. That's probably not going to sit well with. It's probably not going to sit well with those fans.
That's all I had on there. I'd love to meet Jerry Jones's accountant. That guy's in a world of hurt in these next few years. A world of hurt.
Yeah, not better not have a fun time.
I would say if there's, I guess one bright spot about the Cowboys is that technically Dak is only required to be the quarterback of the Cowboys for one more year. If it were up to me, I would guess I'd probably want to move off of Dak, but I feel like
if they don't win this year, it is going to get blown up. It is the last year. It's the last year of Mike McCarthy's contract. If they do not win, it's gonna get blown up. But also, Jerry Jones has a very hard time saying goodbye to long-term players and coaches.
Yeah, I'd say that's a problem I've noticed. He's a little too loyal to his guys.
He's a little sentimental, which is kind of problematic when you're in a business world like that, where you're trying to build. You want to have connections, but also it is a business, and you're going to have to be able to part ways at certain points when players are not great. Tony Romo kind of worked his own way out just because he got hurt. Dak came through, and it was fine. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It is just because it's Jerry Jones. I'm going to expect Dak Prescott to probably keep playing, retire a Cowboy. But the rest of the team,
I feel like the hardest decision Jerry Jones has had to make in the last 5 years is getting rid of Zeke. It probably took him weeks to finally be like, fine, we'll do it.
Probably.
I just feel like he's uber loyal to his guys, and I feel like he's shown that in the past. So,
yeah,
I would say though, just a quick look at this Cowboys roster. They got a ton of guys on extremely cheap deals that they're just reaping the benefits off of. So right now, CD, Ferguson, Tyler Smith, Mozzie Smith, Damone Clark, Bland, Marquise Bell, not Donovan Wilson, but Marquise Bell. They're all on rookie contracts. They're overperforming their current value, and they do have a slight luxury in being able to keep some of their big dogs here. But you are correct. Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb are going to have to get their bag here soon. And those guys are going to be Cowboys for the foreseeable future. So yeah, this is kind of like a last all-in year with this core. After this, we could see
it's tough without having many free agents signed. But okay. All right. With that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening. Rate us 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, on Instagram at WaterboyPod. We post new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday on YouTube and all podcast platforms. So make sure to subscribe to us there and turn on notifications so you don't miss any episodes. We post new TikToks every Tuesday to Sunday. Most off-season wish lists will be there, including ones that do not make the videos or make the episodes. So make sure to check those out. We also post some of them on Instagram. So make sure to go follow us over there. We'll post graphics on there as well. But with that, we will see you guys in the next episode. Waterboys out.